What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another part. Quickly before this video starts, I just want to say sorry for not uploading a video yesterday. It's just that I was hit with a mean case of allergies and my throat was pretty sore. So I decided, hey, let's just skip today, and that way they don't have to deal with awful voice. So for today's video, this is actually going to be the final installment. So whatever the like goal ends up being is whatever you guys feel like. If you guys like the ending, then definitely smash it. And also consider checking out the movie, leaving a like, and just leaving a comment on it just to show your support and help the movie version out in the algorithm. That said though, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy.
Hey Ross, sauce it up.
Sasuke starts the battle off by immediately taking a kunai out of his pouch, throwing it straight at the direction of Lee, who would simply parry out of the way as Sasuke would activate his Sharingan simultaneously and go in to try to get a direct blow in at Lee's face. He would go in trying to strike him, but Lee, using his expertise taijutsu skills, would immediately dodge out of the way and counterattack, punching Sasuke straight in the face, sending him flying back as Lee would jump up into the air and try to land a smashing thunderous blow to Sasuke, who would roll out of the way and immediately shoot a fire style jutsu at Lee, who would begin to run towards the sides of the walls and would proceed to essentially try to run in circles around Sasuke. Sasuke would immediately create a couple of clones which would rush in at Lee, and Lee would immediately dismantle each and every single one of the clones that Sasuke would have sent out. At this point, Lee would realize that there's no point in playing around, and so Lee would decide, I think that it is only fair if I show you my true power, Sasuke. Prepare yourself, as he would pretty much proceed to lunge in at Sasuke and pretty much activate his fourth gate, right? He would activate the fourth gate, and immediately as soon as this happens, Lee would just think to himself internally, he has to end this battle quickly. Sasuke, seeing this happen, would think to himself that he needs to figure out a way to pretty much stay out of Lee's path, because since he doesn't have the curse mark, he isn't exactly capable of keeping up with Lee, but he's only able to kind of dodge and evade his attacks just because of the fact that he has the Sharingan. So he's barely able to read Lee, but Lee's speed is just insane. It's incredible, honestly. So I think that Lee's speed overall would end up pretty much taking the dub against Sasuke. And quick tangent, ladies and gentlemen, I know that in the last part at the ending, I told you guys to pretty much tell me who you guys think would win. And a majority of you guys actually believe that Lee should actually take the dub this time because Sasuke doesn't have the curse mark. Yeah, he has the Chidori and he has all the things that he would have had in the original, as well as a little bit of an amp. But even I still don't believe that Sasuke would be capable of taking out a fourth gate Lee in the Chunin exams. And so we're going to be saying that because of that, Lee's actually going to win. And the way that I see this happening is essentially Sasuke would try to land a Chidori, which wouldn't actually land, and Lee would be able to counterattack, hitting Sasuke with a hidden Lotus attack, which Sasuke would have no counter for. And ultimately, Lee would be the one to take the dub of the battle. Sasuke would be in a crater, and once the battle would be called over by the proctor, Lee would extend a hand out to Sasuke as he would pretty much pick him up and, pretty much just be like, I admire your effort, Uchiha Sasuke. As from here, Sasuke smirks and he smiles and he's like, the next time we meet, it won't be so easy. And Lee says, I am hoping not. As at this moment, Naruto would be watching from the stands with Jiraiya, who just pretty much looks at Naruto and would kind of be wondering to himself, what's up with this? He knows Naruto was definitely hiding some strength, because anytime that Naruto gets into a fight or every time that they would spar, it would almost seem as though Naruto was trying too hard to appear weak when he is actually strong. It would almost appear as though Naruto was hiding his true power, and with Jiraiya being able to actually tell that Sasuke was from the future, I think that Jiraiya would actually be able to kind of begin to put one and two together and begin to question Naruto, leading to him actually trying to find out what's Naruto's game, you know what I mean? And I don't think Naruto's actually going to be keeping it a secret from Jiraiya, as well as I think that a bunch of the other people who would have been watching in the stands, such as Fugaku, would have also, with their Sharingans active, noticed that Naruto doesn't seem to have been trying his hardest, but he's not going to tell Sasuke because he thinks that it was for a reason, right? And so what would pretty much end up happening here is we end up getting a pretty strange montage where we just see Sasuke training harder after the Chunin exams and Naruto pretty much having to have a little conversation with Jiraiya. Jiraiya would actually end up throwing a kunai to a Naruto who would be asleep, and a ninja Naruto who was a kid would not be able to dodge that. So that's why Jiraiya threw it from the side that the kunai was dull, so it wouldn't hurt Naruto but only give him like a little bit of a bump on his head, right? But Naruto would immediately react to it, causing Jiraiya's assumption to be completely correct. This would be a scene very, very similar to that of when Krillin threw a rock at Goku's head, thinking that since he was a Super Saiyan, he was just omnipotent, and Goku got hit in the head, except this time, Naruto actually responds. So when Jiraiya sees this, he would say, "I was right. Naruto, how was it that you were able to dodge that? Only somebody with access to Sage Mode would have been able to dodge that with their eyes closed. And a genin the likes of your status should not have been able to dodge it so easily." Naruto from here would just slowly get up as he would say, the jig is up. As he would look towards the direction of Jiraiya and say, you are one smart old man, you know that? As from here, Jiraiya smirks and Naruto says, "Look, I'm not me." As Jiraiya says, "What are you talking about?" And Naruto says, I'm Naruto, but I'm not this Naruto. For some strange reason, I was reborn with all my memories and all my powers. And the reason that I hadn't told you yet was because I wanted to, spend some time with you and get the same bond that we would have made in the future. But I guess that now that you know everything, there's really no point. So we might as well start trying to make a new bond. Look, Jiraiya, truth is that a long time ago, me and a bunch of other rookies actually ended up stumbling across a genie lamp. With that genie lamp, all of us were trying to make a wish and we were all being greedy. I ended up being the last one to get a hold of it, and when I did, I wish that I got a do-over with my life. And so, once I ended up dying in the future and had a son and became Hokage, Jiraiya would be like, "You actually did it, you knucklehead?" As Naruto would say, "Yes," with a little bit of a laugh on his face, just kind of laughing, thinking to himself that that's good old Jiraiya. And from here, he would proceed to tell Jiraiya that he got to do over with his life and that he actually got to experience a childhood this time, saying that in the future, if everything would have gone according to plan, a lot of things would have been changed, such as he would have had a horrible childhood because Danzo would have let it out of the bag that he was the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. Everybody would have hated him. The Uchiha clan would have been slaughtered by Itachi and Obito, a ninja from the third grade shinobi world who we all thought had passed, the comrade of Kakashi Hatake, and the student of my father Minato. Then in the future, you would have lost your life, so would have Hiruzen, and there would have been a huge war in which Madara came back in. Luckily though, because I'm here, I'm going to be able to avoid all those countless deaths. I'm going to be able to save Neji. I'm going to be able to pretty much put everything right. And this time around, I'm going to stop the catastrophe that destroys the Hidden Leaf Village sometime in the future. I'm going to be the one who actually stops everything, and I'm not going to leave it up to my son this time. And from here, Jiraiya would be like, "Well, Naruto, that is quite a lot to take in." As from here, he would sit down and look to Naruto and say, "So how old did I get to live to?" Naruto would say, "Trust me, Jiraiya, you don't want to know, but just know that your life's work and your life meant something. But this time around, you're going to make it a lot older than that, you old frog, so make sure you don't croak before then." As Jiraiya laughs and says, "Yeah, well, what was it like? What was I like in my final moments?" Naruto would say, "I don't know, you ended up fighting one of your previous students. I think his name was Nagato." And from here, Jiraiya says, "The one with the Rinnegan?" And Naruto says, "What other student do you have named Nagato?" As Jiraiya just kind of lets it all sit in, and he would be like, "Wow, like the future does sound like quite a crazy timeline." As Naruto says, "It was, and trust me, it wasn't easy to do things without you. I ended up having to perfect the Rasengan and create the Rasen Shuriken, this jutsu here," as he proceeds to effortlessly create a Rasen Shuriken with one hand without the usage of clones. Seeing as he died like a couple more years than he would have in the future, I think that he would have at the very minimum mastered the ability to create a Rasengan and Rasen Shuriken without using two hands. So, he was able to do that. And so we pretty much get Jiraiya being fascinated by this, with Jiraiya thinking to himself how Naruto could have possibly gotten this strong. Jiraiya would wonder, how strong is Naruto? And Naruto would say that for now, seeing as he's in a kid's body, he can't access everything. But this is the extent to his power. Naruto closes his eyes as instantly he says, "Are you ready, Kurama?" And from here, Kurama would proceed to have a smile on his face as he would go on to pretty much activate KCM2, Naruto being able to tap into the 6-path Sage Mode version of it, with Jiraiya being absolutely stunned. Jiraiya would ask himself how in the world Naruto became this strong. And Naruto would say a little bit of training and a little bit of spit and grease. And from here, Naruto has a big smile on his face as Jiraiya says, "You're gonna need to teach me that jutsu, kid." With Naruto saying, "Oh, trust, it's gonna take you a while. That unless you were to use a shadow clone jutsu." And Jiraiya says, "The multi-shadow clone jutsu you're talking about, right? That's the way that you're able to look left and right at the same time." Naruto says, "Exactly." And from here, it kicks in. Jiraiya finally realizes it. And he's like, "It's so simple. This whole time I could have been training like that and I would have saved myself years. Heck, I could have even sent a clone to Mount Miyoboku to continue my Sage Mode training." Naruto says that it's not too late, considering that for now there's actually going to be no threats to the world. But there is one loose end that Naruto does want to take care of, something that Jiraiya needs to come along with him for, and that is to retrieve Tsunade and bring her back to the village. While they might not need a new Hokage this time around, it would be nice to have that old lady here for a change. And Jiraiya's like, "All right, let's go look for her." Naruto says, "I know exactly where she's going to be at. In 2 weeks, she's going to be in the town of yada yada yada," right? Naruto informs Jiraiya of this, and because Orochimaru doesn't need his arms fixed because he never tries to do anything against the Hidden Leaf Village, I'm going to be saying that Orochimaru kind of just stays in the shadows, and we're going to be saving Orochimaru as a villain for later. Keep in mind that because the Uchiha clan is a plethora of Uchiha clan bodies, Orochimaru definitely gets his wish. This time around, there's no stopping him. He encounters an Uchiha along on a mission, some random one, the son of like a cousin of Sasuke or something, and he's gonna actually be taking the body of that kid. And when it comes to Kimimaro still dies, but this time around, not in the same fashion as the Sasuke, retrieval mission thing, right? He just dies on his deathbed a couple weeks later. And so what pretty much ends up happening from here is we would essentially get a really cool moment where Jiraiya and Naruto are kind of walking, and Naruto just says, "Look, I'm kind of tired of this old little kid body. Any chance I can snap into what I'll look like in the future?" And Jiraiya says, "Go for it, kid." As from here, Naruto uses the transformation jutsu to turn himself the equal age as Jiraiya, as both of them have a conversation about life and about a bunch of different things that Jiraiya would honestly be pretty cool with. Like, he gets to talk to somebody around his age, Naruto seems way wise, and it's just a really cool, like, humbling like experience that Jiraiya didn't think he would ever get the chance to have. And so we have a really cool moment where they kind of just talk to each other, right? Until eventually they end up encountering Tsunade at the bar, and at the bar, Tsunade would still have her little fussle over returning to the village, but Jiraiya never blatantly asks her to pretty much become Kage. So I think that would help the case out, but he would say that it would be nice to have somebody like her back in the village in order to teach other people about the implementation of a healing ninja in squats. Tsunade would say that that's not her problem and that she doesn't want to go back, and that as long as that old fart's there and with the new Hokage Fugaku, there's no reason that she should even go back. I'm not sure if I ended up saying like something that I had on my mind, but I'm not sure if I ended up saying this, but Fugaku ends up becoming Hokage just because Hiruzen, he realizes he's too old for the job. And so Naruto would actually end up being okay with Fugaku becoming Kage. This would prevent a bunch of things, and I think that Fugaku as Kage would actually be pretty interesting, seeing the village elders kind of opposed to this, but Hiruzen being like, "No, like, I'm putting my foot down. He's going to be the new Kage," right? Would be a cool thing for the village. And also seeing Naruto tell the father of Sasuke what his true power is, I think that's also going to be a really cool moment where, we're definitely going to have to cover in the future. But regardless though, Tsunade would fight and make a fuss about it, and Naruto would say, "Heard a lot of things about you, things like you're the legendary loser and things of that nature, but I never did want to believe it." So how about this? How about a little bet? I know that you're much of a betting woman, so how about this? If we go outside and I can land and I can beat you in a fight, you have to come back to the village. Tsunade scoffs at this and she says, kid, if you land even one blow on me, I'll return to the village. And Naruto just smirks, knowing exactly what she was gonna respond to that. The reason that he didn't say one blow was because he knows Tsunade. And if he would have said that, Tsunade would have started laughing and just like been cautious, because it's like, no way he's that confident. But because Naruto says, I beat you in a fight, she gets overconfident and says that this kid is out of his element, right? And so what pretty much ends up happening is that we get a really, really strange scene between everybody where they're all just wondering what they're going to be doing. You know what I mean? And what pretty much ends up happening is they go outside with Jiraiya just being completely confident, and Tsunade is just outside, you know, she just punches the ground, and Naruto, he's like, all right, let's try this move, as he throws a kunai at the direction of Tsunade. And Tsunade would be like, really, kid? She steps out of the way as Naruto smirks, and flash, Naruto's right beside Tsunade as he activates a Rasengan and just boom, straight to the rib cage of Tsunade, sending her crashing into a wall, knocking her clean out as she was drunk and just was not expecting it. Once Tsunade wakes up, she would be enraged, being like, what? That kid tricked me. Like, how was I supposed to know that he was the son of the 4th Hokage Minato, much less has the same jutsu as him? And Naruto would just be laughing. As they make their way back to the village without any quorums, and once they return, Naruto is faced with the issue that he has to finally tell Fugaku the truth about everything. He has to tell Fugaku, yeah, so I'm actually from the future. And Fugaku would be like, yeah, I figured there was something up with you, but from the future, I never would have predicted that much. Naruto explains to him the truth of his power, how he had met a genie and gets a do-over with his life, and with Fugaku knowing about the organization of the Akatsuki, Naruto begins to tell Fugaku that it's about time that they were to put them on the hit list, saying that in 3 years' time, once Naruto gets an older body that can handle the power that Naruto possesses, it would be a good idea to go encounter the Akatsukis and maybe try to get them to change their minds about their goals. Naruto says that if anything, he's gonna save Obito Uchiha, and Fugaku, being the leader of the Uchihas, would say, Obito, he lost his life in the Third Great Shinobi World War. His eyes have been inherited by that of Kakashi, as Naruto stops him and says, he's alive, alright. And that ability of his of the Mangekyo Sharingan is fearsome indeed. It's something that you're going to be needing my help for. I know how powerful you are, but trust me, I think that having a couple of extra hands for this mission is something that we shouldn't take lightly. And from here, Fugaku would be like, alright kid, well I trust you seeing as you're from the future. As Naruto would pretty much end up waiting these 3 years training alongside Sasuke, as he would end up teaching Sasuke techniques that he would have ended up learning in the future, but earlier, via telling Fugaku to teach him, via talking to Itachi and, you know, messing around with Shisui. Naruto having all of these extra people in his life would actually make a huge difference, and Naruto around this time, by the time that the 3 years were up, Naruto would have already been done having his fun with Ino, right? He was like, you know what, Ino's cool and all, but she's kind of boring, because at the same time as Ino looks good, she's a boring individual. So Naruto doesn't really care about her too much. And so Naruto's like, who's the next person that I should, you know, maybe try my luck at? As Naruto begins thinking, and he's like, you know what, should I just go back to Hinata? Until he just thinks to himself, one more person that he definitely wants to, you know, see what would happen. And that person is oh my god, what's the name of Yugito, that girl right there from the Hidden Cloud Village, the Jinchuriki of the Two Tails, I think it is. But that's for a later mission that Naruto's gonna have to definitely embark with the Hidden Cloud. That said, what pretty much ends up happening here is we get a situation in which, actually pause, everything stop. Okay, look, hear me out, guys. Okay, this could be the last part, or hear me out, you guys smash a like goal of 1,000 likes. If you guys smash 1,000 likes, I can make a bonus part in the movie version of this that will be right at the end, covering the events of Boruto, with Naruto absolutely smacking around people like Ishiki, Kaguya, and Naruto actually, you know, realizing his mistakes that he would have made in the future with Boruto. Like, I could go into it in depth and make like a 25-minute part to that I could just add at the bonus at the end of the last part, and maybe cover what would end up happening after this part. You know, any loose ends that you guys might have, any questions and stuff like that for this what if in particular. Let me know down below if you guys want that, and if you guys smash 1,000 likes, I'll make sure to drop that when the movie of this comes out. That said, getting back into the story, with the squad of Kakashi, Naruto, Jiraiya, Itachi, Shisui, and Tsunade to heal them and stuff like that, there would be absolutely no way that Naruto's not going to be able to take out Obito. They would end up encountering the Akatsukis, and each member would be tasked with the ultimate defeat of the defeation of all of the Akatsuki members that are left. And all of the Akatsuki members that would be left would be people like Deidara, people like Sasori, and people like that would actually be easily taken out by Itachi and Shisui. That's a matchup that, you know, would be very, very much so pretty interesting to watch, because Itachi could just use his Mangekyo abilities against Deidara to take him out. We've seen how that plays out. Sasori, we can definitely use Shisui's speed to just blitz him and ultimately take that dub. And when it comes to Fugaku, I think that an interesting matchup for him would probably be Kisame, but with him having Wicked Eye Fugaku's Mangekyo, I think that he would ultimately take the dub in that. And when it comes to the last like higher tier members like Nagato and Obito, Naruto would want to have a change of heart with them. Like, he talks to Obito and tries to talk no jutsu him much earlier than he would have in canon, telling him that it's not worth dying or trying to bring Madara back for the Eye of the Moon plan, telling him Rin's gone and she's never coming back, and that the sooner he accepts it, the sooner that everything will be fine. But because things don't play out the way that they do in the future, I think Obito would definitely try to fight back against it. And I think that Naruto ends up having to take out Obito, and by take out, I don't mean kill him, but like just knock him out, kind of use a deterrent against him. When it comes to Nagato, I think that the Tuck no Jutsu would still work, and Naruto would say that it's better for him to come back and, you know, be part of their peace than to force it onto others, saying that in due time people will learn that there's no reason to fight, and that Nagato trying to push people into peace and trying to rule them with an iron fist is not the way. That if he wouldn't like to be treated like that, will make him think that others will, and that soon somebody will rise up whether he likes it or not. That's just how that kind of world works. Naruto would say not to think too deep about it, and so, you know, he ends up taking Nagato back. They have a little bit of a cool reunion with Jiraiya, and ultimately this would be the end of what if Naruto was reborn with all of his memories and powers for now. Because keep in mind, if you guys smash 1,000 likes, I'll definitely be sure to drop a bonus part and cover any loose ends that I'm leaving on this story. Definitely make sure to comment down some questions you guys have, some fights you guys would like to see, and ultimately some funny moments you guys think would make sense to have in the bonus part for this what if you guys smash 1,000 likes. That said though, ladies and gentlemen, it has been your boy Xehther, and I love each and every single one of you guys, but for now, I'm out. Peace.